Rapid Africa. All day, God. Either found we don't go find we today. Rise up, yeah. No, we don't go carry last no more. Line up, yeah. And now you better take action, yeah. If you believe that you are royal, flexing your move, gotta show. Let them understand that who you are is bigger than the world, yeah. For so many years and so many ways to try to pull us down, but time is now, we're turning things around, so we're moving to the top.
This is Africans Leaving America. I am Afia Coomson. I have a wonderful guest with me on the platform today. Could you please introduce yourself to the platform, sir?
Hi everyone. My name is Samson Water, go by the name of King Dada. Probably if you want to look me on social media, other stuff, you check King Dada song. And I'm happy to be on the interview with Miss Melody. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, brother. This interview today is going to be about Liberia. I don't know if the platform knows a lot about Liberia, but Liberia is one of the most biggest slave trade platforms in Africa. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, brother, let us know some colonial history about Liberia.
You know what I'm saying? Liberia is basically the oldest country in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Liberia is the oldest country in Africa. Liberia was the first country when the US took back the slave to Africa. They first landed in Liberia, Bushwa Island. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we call those settlers in Liberia, we call the African American, or we refer to them as Congo people. You know what I'm saying? Because they came from America and then they trade back to Africa, and then because of them, they have to give Liberia some life that those they met there, they didn't get the opportunity to know some civilization. You know what I'm saying? And then we try to. So basically, Liberia was founded in 1822. 1822, Liberia was founded, and then Liberia gained her independence in the year of 1847. 1847, July 26. So every year, July 26 is Liberia independent.
Okay. So would you say that the Africans came back to colonize Liberia pretty much?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And when you say that Liberia gained its independence, do you mean from America per se, or from the Liberians that came to colonize Liberia?
Basically, Liberia wasn't colonized by a Pacific country. You know, say like history been told, say Liberia was colonized by the American Colonization Society, but we all know that an organization cannot colonize a country. You know what I'm saying? American Colonization Society was an organization formed in America to take back the slave to Africa. So it's not the American country itself. They just look for a Pacific area in Africa, like rescue place for the settlers that was taken back to Africa. So they just dropped them. So we just say that's why if you listen to the motto of Liberia, they say the love of liberty brought us the freedom, because they gained their freedom from the US, from the American, from the white people. Their freedom they gained took them to Africa and took them to Liberia. And then they was trying to change the subject of the motto, like instead of the love of liberty brought us here, it should have been exactly the love of liberty made us here, because you already had the indigenous people, the native people that was already living in Liberia when you got there. So you got there and met someone there. So it shouldn't be like the love of liberty brought you here. It met you here with some people that was already here. But they're trying to work on that. But then, so I mean, Liberia is a pretty cool country. Like everybody is the motherland for Africa.
Okay.
They give birth to other African country, first to gain independence, first to have female president, first to have international celebrity. You know what I'm saying? And first to me, for it's basically the first of everything, the first country to carry their president to the Hague. You know what I'm saying? Like if you read the history back into the war in Liberia, Charles Taylor, Samuel Kayando.
I was going to ask you about that. That was going to be my next question. So how do you feel that Liberia has changed since the war with Samuel Doe and Charles Taylor in the 90s? Because, you know, that was a pretty rough war, you know, and it lasted for a while. You know, so how do you feel like the country has changed? I know I was doing some research some years back about it, and I saw that the female president, she had fixed a lot of the projects that needed to be fixed from the war, like some of the roads and things of that nature. So what has changed in your eyes since the war?
I would say since the war, like violence. One on the platform, violence is to the minimum level in Liberia. Like you don't have much violence going out there, and then like doing if you talk, there's a two changes, both positive and negative since the war. You know what I'm saying? From the positive side, first you see violence on the minimum level.
Okay.
That's one. Two, you see from the positive side, you see construction of roads that was done by the president, Her Excellency, Ex-Excellency Eli Johnson Sirleaf. Three, you see people going back to school. Children are really not able to go back to school. You know what I'm saying? Those who drop off school were disarmed. Those who fought the war were disarmed, and then have the leverage now to get back to school. And then they see things in the future, in the bigger picture, like, no, we are Liberians. We don't have to mess our country up again. This country is the only country we got. This is our only hope. So if we mess things up, there's nowhere else we can go. Even if we get opportunity to go outside, we still have to come back here because this is our country. Yeah. But for Taylor, when Taylor was there, when you talk about another side, which is the negative side, right? When Taylor was there, violent. Because I mean, people, don't get me wrong though, people love Taylor. I mean, I do love Taylor a lot. You know what I'm saying? If former President Taylor just have the chance to go back to Liberia right now and then run for another presidency for 2023, he definitely gonna be reelected.
I mean, because I saw a lot of negative things that he did. You know, it was a lot of terror in Liberia as him being the president. So speak on that a little bit, because I'm on the outside looking in. You know, I wasn't living there, so I can't really, you know, speak on that. But I know another Liberian guy that said he liked Charles Taylor also. So yeah.
Because the reason most people, most youth, most elderly people love Taylor precisely is because he's a straightforward person. His yes is his yes, his no is his no. He don't compromise. He's not a person that compromises. And he was totally against corruption. If he found out you corrupting, he gonna have a justice on you, regardless who you are, regardless your position, regardless your title. He don't care. You know what I'm saying? So that platform is most definitely create love for Taylor from everybody. Then as compared to right now. Right now, Liberia is stable, Liberia is peaceful, Liberia is everything you can say, but people are striving. People are fighting hard means. They find it difficult to survive. Corruption is on the maximum level. You know what I'm saying? Corruption, people, other presidents will come, look, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. At the end result, they seek their self-interest before anybody. You know what I'm saying? And then Taylor was not the type of person like that. Taylor makes sure that everybody is well certified, regardless who you are. Even the little child or the least person in the country were able to afford to get something for themselves at that time. But right now, even the least person in the country can't even afford something to get for themselves. If we're talking about if you're not connected to a certain group of people, it's definitely hard for you in the country. So on the negative side, on the negative side, Taylor was drastic. Taylor was man with action. He was not man of words, he was man of action. He do what he says, you know what I'm saying? Even that you say, look, you gotta drive the thing presses, he mean what he said. You need to drive that presses. You don't care how much you pay for that goods, how much you input, and he don't care. Because he was all about his people.
Right.
Yeah, but nowadays, right now, you see the law for the country has been swallowed up to self-interest. Yeah, everybody's taking their own self-interest. So it makes corruption to go on the rampage, things prices on a high level, sky high. You know what I'm saying?
And I know in Liberia, they use the US dollar a lot, correct? You guys use the US dollar? Is that the main currency pretty much?
Correct. I might say the main currency. On the other hand, I might say it's a secondary currency in the country. But it's almost like the main currency currently in the country. Because can you imagine, second part of 2019, we uses LD, which is Liberty, Liberian dollars.
Okay.
We use Liberian dollar. That's called LD, which is Liberian dollar. And then we use US dollar. But if you go in the market, right? If you go in the market, everything that is in the market is based on the price of US dollar. You know what I'm saying? And then it devalue the currency of our own country. Like our currency don't work. You get somebody $100 Liberian dollar or a 1,000 Liberian dollar. And they don't worth to them then has compared if you give them just a $5 US. The $5 US is worth it. This year has worth it than they live in the Liberian dollar. But other countries around us, they uses US as international level. Like if you probably going to travel, you need some US dollar to go other places. Then you go to the bank, they restrict the US. But we're not restricting the US. US is, we went out of our own money. Just imagine our own currency was nowhere to be found in the country. The only money that was floating in the country was US dollar.
Yeah, this one guy told me some time ago, he said, you know, if you use a Liberian dollar, you're going to have a whole bunch of money, you know, versus with the US dollar, it's small, you know. And I'm thinking because, you know, the US has so many ties in Liberia, you know, like, I don't know, because you guys' flag is kind of like the US flag. You know, it's a lot of similarities from Liberia to the United States. So maybe that's why the US dollar is floating around like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's like this, right? It's just like I said from the initial, Liberia was not colonized by America, right? It was just the free slaves that went to Africa, went to Liberia, precise, to colonize themselves. It's not the country. So because they have the knowledge of where they came from, that they came from America, and then they saw how the people in America were living. They saw how people do things here. So basically, they copied. They
replicated it.
They replicate everything. So for herself to produce her own thing is kind of difficult because everything they does, they copy it from the United States. So if you look at both of them, if you look at the United States, look at Liberia, you might figure out like probably the United States was the one that colonized Liberia because everything they do is after America. Like if you talk about holiday, like Thanksgiving Day is the last Thursday in November in the United States, right? When you go to Liberia, it's the first Thursday in November. And then you come to Independence Day, America Independence Day is July 4th, right? If you go to Liberia, it's July 26th. You understand? And then if you come to the flag is red, white, and blue with 50 or 52 stars in America. But then since Liberia was just a single little country or a little small upcoming country, they made red, white, and blue with just one flag. And then they use the US currency more than their own currency. They don't value their own currency. Like the rate is you get $5 US, they give you like it's a $850 Liberian dollar. But just
Okay.
single $5.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go in the market to buy, instead of them calling the price of their own currency, like how much this worth, if I ask you like how much this worth, you should say like it worth like at least $400 Liberian dollars or $500 Liberian dollars, but don't say like that. How much this worth is worth $3 what? $3 US. And it's not US country, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So what about the land? Like how much does a plot of land cost in Liberia?
For land in Liberia, I'm gonna give Liberia the credit on that, you know what I'm saying? Apart from other African country, you know what I'm saying? Land in Liberia is way too cheap. It's way too cheap, like compared to any other African country. And you can afford at any means at any time if you want to get the land. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can basically wait. Look, the location of the land, the spot of the land determines the price of the land. You know what I'm saying? Where you find the land will tell how the value of the land, how much it costs, how much it worth. You know what I'm saying? So if you can basically get a land for even 500 United States dollars.
500 US dollars for a plot of land in
500.
Liberia?
Yeah, you can get a land for 500.
Wow. So is that
600.
So is that around the price that your mom paid for her land?
That's what I'm saying. The value changes, depends where you find the place, where the area is located, the location of the land determine the price of the land. You know what I'm saying? Where she found her land, she paid like $1,200, yeah, for her land.
That's still not bad, you know. It's not.
It's about I think 2 or 3 lakhs. About other countries, if you get it like 2 lakhs, you definitely gonna pay like 5,000.
Yeah, you're paying about anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000, maybe more.
Right.
You know, especially like in the hot spots right now, like Ghana, Tanzania, Kenya. You know, those lands are very expensive. That's why that's why I wanted to do this interview with you, because I want to also let my platform know on Africans Leaving America about all African countries. You know, we speak a lot about Nigeria, Ghana, you know, Tanzania. We even have Kenya also as far as being interviewed, but we don't have nothing about Liberia. You know, and Liberia is, it's a lot of Liberians in the United States. You know, it is. So that goes on to my next question for you, brother. How do you feel about being in the US versus being in Liberia?
I mean, Liberia, if I mean, the both countries, from my end, I don't think it can be compared. There's any comparison, because everything is almost like America is running Liberia in terms of what our leaders do. They replicate, like you said, they replicate everything. You know what I'm saying? So the system in Liberia, it's the same, almost the same system. But what's different is the corruption. So my experience living in the United States and my experience living in Liberia, I feel like the United States makes your dreams to come true. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of opportunities in the United States. Whatever you want to do, whoever you want to become, in the snap of a finger. All you gotta do is just get your mind to it, get your mindset, and then don't be moved by nothing, and you can be that person. But not in Liberia. If you want to become such person, I think you probably be in 90 or 99 years before you be that person. Because to find the opportunity is hard. It's lifetime. Even if you go to school, right? Even if you go to, because they said a time came in Liberia around 2019, 2020. They said that, oh, you need to go to school before you get a job. Okay, good. That's a good idea right there, right? You can go to school to get a job. Okay. Now you got about millions of students who graduated from colleges, universities with degree. They've been to school, they graduate. what are they doing? There's no job. They sell in the market. Some selling under the kitchen, some selling shoes, some, you know what I'm saying? No job. So even if you go to school, you can't find the opportunity. So moreover, if you don't go to school, definitely not even going to see nothing at all in your lifetime. It's almost like I see Liberia, like, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful country, it's a beautiful land, natural place of everything, sweet freedom. But I mean, freedom without money, freedom without means of living is like a silent war. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if you fight an invisible war. Because you're not running here and there, but it's a war you fight.
Yeah.
People die from starvation. That's a war. People don't have place to sleep. That's a war. People don't have money to pay their children's school fees. That's a war. Things prices, since everything in the market was sky high. That's a war. The U.S. rate raised to the top. That's a war. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have someone abroad to help you, to back you up financially in Liberia, you're definitely not going to make it. Be honest.
You know, and that's so sad, because it's like Africa's beautiful. You know, Africa's a beautiful place to the eye, you know, but it's a lot of corruption that goes on in Africa, you know, and especially, you know, between the West and the East, you know, the leaders, the leaders are a lot of the problem, you know. Those politicians, man, it seems to me like they are all about money at the end of the day, and not helping the people.
You only get from them. You only get from these leaders when they are running during a campaign time, when they want to be elected. That's the time you get from them. That's the time you're going to hear a whole lot of promises. That's the time you're going to see them more often in your neighborhood, in your smaller town, in your smaller district, your small community. That's the time they're going to do anything you ask for during the time of campaign. But the moment they get elected, the first thing they do, they take their kids, their wife, they send it to the United States.
And they collecting money for loans, collect resources,
and try to do a money laundry, embezzlement, try to pack some money in bag. They come every weekend. They come for vacation in the United States to see their family. They don't even live in the rural part where they were elected. Like nothing. If you were elected in this district, I mean, you should get your little office in that. If you don't live there, you should get a little office in that district concerning the people, that if the people have that complaints, that cry, they can be able to reach out to your office. You know what I'm saying? And then you can be able to solve it, but they don't even do that. You don't even see them. You won't see them until probably next election. In next election, if you do see them, then they try to make up for the all promises they made.
Right.
And then when they get re-elected, they're done with you.
Yeah, I see that with a lot of presidents in Africa.
What they do, they figure that if I come to this district that elect me as representative or senator, right? If I come to the district, then I should be able to put my hands in my pocket and give everybody like $100. That's not going to solve the problem. It can't solve a problem. Why do people need to solve that problem? They need means to get a job. They need a better life. They need electricity. They need food. $100 is just for probably a couple of days, 2 days. You can use $100.
$100 US is only a couple days.
Couple of days you can use.
Inflation is really bad then, you know. It is. So look, brother, what type of business do you feel like Liberia is lacking that the diaspora could bring to the table?
Like for me, if I was doing a business in Liberia, right, I can do any kind of business, like clothing, any kind of business, like selling dry commodities like clothing. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that business. Business that has to deal with wants, what people want. I can't do that business. So if I have to do business in Liberia, from my perspective, I do needs business that have to do with needs.
Needs, not wants.
Not wants, what people can do without. Not when somebody can decide whether they want this or not. No, you don't do that business. You know what I'm saying? Before, if you try to do a clothing business, before somebody go in the market to buy clothes, if I buy clothes today, I'm not buying clothes again, probably Christmas Day. I just be looking for money to get food, to survive.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for money to get clothes. You know what I'm saying? So I do needs. You see, like real estate, that's a need. You need shelter.
Yeah.
You can do without shelter. You know what I'm saying? So I do like real estate. I do like food. I do like water.
Transportation.
Transportation. These are all needs. You feel me? You can't do without these things. You can even do like maybe cosmetics. Cosmetic, like body lotion, cream, grease. These are all needs. Apart from these, don't do any business with ones.
And farming too. I'm sure farming is a good thing to do as well.
Yeah, that's production of food. You know what I'm saying? If you're producing food, I mean that's a need, dude. You can't do without food, dude. But don't go do like you selling a cell phone. How often do people buy a cell phone? Even in the United States. Even in the United States of America, how often do people buy a cell phone? You do business like computer. How often people now looking for money to find food to eat? They're looking for money for computer.
Right.
Even the computer they get to their house, they want to sell the computer to get money to pay their house rent, to get money to pay that children's school fees. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't looking for computer. They ain't looking for shoe. They want to get in their closet. It's all good for them. They feel at that moment. So they ain't looking for shoe. So if you try to do this type of business, it gonna move very slow.
So we're gonna wrap this up here. I got one more question for you, brother. As you know, African Americans, we are visiting Africa and we are also moving back to Africa. So do you feel like Liberia would be a good place for us to repatriate to and or visit?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Liberia is absolutely, don't get me wrong, regardless the situation that is there. And I'm saying, I mean, in Liberia, once you're able to sustain yourself, it's definitely a good place. But if you're not able to sustain yourself, it's not a good place. If you're able to sustain yourself, it is a good place. Cause don't get the mindset that you're gonna get a job if you don't know nobody there. Don't get the mindset you're gonna get a contract, you're gonna get a better life if you don't know nobody there. Get the mindset that if I'm going to Liberia for a visit, okay, I should travel like maybe 15,000. If I go as soon, but how long you plan to go for? If you plan to go for like 3 months, you carry like 15 or 20,000. Approximately.
Especially if you want to buy some land. You know, I feel like if you buy land and build a house, you know, things would be a whole lot easier because that's one bill that you don't have to deal with. You know, once you get your house, you know, you work on the business, you provide the food, get you a garden, start planting, get you a couple chickens. You know what I'm saying? It's ways around it. You know, but I'm gonna tell you something. African Americans, we have been oppressing America for so long, and I know you guys see it as an opportunity when you come here, which it is a good opportunity. But brother, when I tell you that we are tired, we are tired. You know, so we are making our way back to Africa. Now, some of us won't be permanent, but a lot of us are going to be permanent, and we are coming to do some things in Africa.
It's really a beautiful place to go, you know what I'm saying? I mean, basically since I've been in America, basically almost everything I've seen in America, I see it back home, you know what I'm saying? Like people, those who had the opportunity, those who are working in Africa, those who have money, those who have the means of creating their self-life, you know, development, like they try their best for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They try their best for themselves to develop some places, some buildings, some hotels, some, you know what I'm saying, some bars, some mini bar. So if you go to if you go to Liberia, you see some hotel it's even 10 times better than some hotels in America.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's not about the building. Like I said, it's all about the end means. If I can get a job in Liberia that can pay me like 500 every month, I'm good. I don't have to come. I'm good. If I get a regular
Right.
job that pay me 500 every month, I'm good. But you can't get that easily.
Right. Right.
You can't get that easily. So you have to come outside to better your life, because you can be hoping on something that it's not going to come within 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now.
It's hard to raise up in Africa. That's what my husband said. It's hard to raise, money in Africa to build your life, to sustain you how you want to be sustained.
Right.
So that's why a lot of Africans travel out. They travel out and they go back home eventually, but until then, they are where they are working, getting their money, and hey, when they make it, they make it,
Right.
But I want to thank you so much, brother. I just love your mother. She's a wonderful woman, and I appreciate everything that she does for you boys, because she helps you all out a lot. And she's a wonderful woman.
She still do. I'm gonna give a shout out to her. She's energetic. You know what I'm saying? She never gets tired as a mother. I love her so much. Can't get tired. I love her. She just complain a lot.
But you know what, your mom, she's ready to go back to Africa. She needs a break. She works hard,
that's what I'm saying. Like the type of life people live there when they were there, you know what I'm saying? So when they come out, the type of life they live there, they don't want to go. They feel that if they go back, they're gonna end up going back to that kind of life.
And they don't want to do it.
They don't want to go back to that level they were before. So that's the fear. Most Liberians in the United States of America, that's the fear. That's their fear. That's the greatest fear. Look,
I'm telling you. That's most Africans. My husband, he's the same way. He does not want to go back to the way he was when he was living
in America. I drive my own car. I sleep on an air conditioner or heater, whatever the place is called. During winter, I sleep on a heater. During summer, I sleep on an air conditioner. I go to the grocery store. I can afford like $50. I can bring enough groceries home for myself.
You can find your food because it's African stores in America.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But if I go back to Africa, will I be able to go to the store with like $50? No. How long wait? Like me, I use like $75 the whole month for myself. My family back home, they use like $350 between the month. You see that? I just use 75 on myself, and even the 75, I don't even use all sometimes. So people don't want to go back to Africa to especially Liberia, those that came from Liberia, that didn't have nothing at all, and then they had the privilege, the leverage to come to the United States of America, and now they see themselves at certain level. So they just want to go like, boom, 2 weeks, they come back, boom, 1 month, they come back, because they're scared to even spend more than 1 month. You know what I'm saying? But that's your home country, though. That's where you were born. That's where you grew up. That's where you raised. But you had the opportunity to come over. But the fear is that you don't want to go. You don't want to see yourself go back to that.
You don't want to be broke again.
You don't want to be broke again.
And you know what? That's what I'm saying, man. Africa has to get it together. And it's not all of their fault, but it is their fault to a certain aspect, because when you know better, you do better. You know that the country is in dire straits. You're getting all this money from these loans for the resources. You're not putting it back into the community. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. But Africa's so beautiful though. Like when we go visit as diasporans, like we are just amazed, because we were lied to all our lives about Africa. Like they wanted to keep us away from there. Truly, they did. And for us to go back and see how beautiful Africa is, as far as like, the vegetation, the animals, the ocean, the trees, you don't see that in America. Now, unless you go to like Florida or some states like that, but just like, you know, right now you're in Kentucky, you don't see no palm trees, no oceans. You know, you're not going to see that. You know, so it's like pros and cons, you know, but I'm glad that you're here so you can most definitely take care of your new wife, you know,
Yeah.
take care of your new
that.
wife, you know, and the family. So, you know, eventually you can go back home and you can create businesses and sustain your family out there too.
Yeah, before I go, I should say, like, to all African, I'm saying we can't depend on our leaders. Our leaders not going from day one, since our countries were founded from day one to person level. They never do good thing for us. They never bring our country to where they want us to be. You know what I'm saying? So we can depend on them. So all we gotta do, we ourselves can do it. We don't need government to do it. You know what I'm saying? Ourselves can create jobs for our fellow friends. You don't have to come to America to stay your whole life. Because if God bless you with the opportunity of you coming out of the country, God wants you to go back to the country and create another means for somebody who don't have the opportunity to come outside. So you, the outside, need to create means for that man that in the country to be able to get a survival every month. So if you come outside and just stay your whole life, you don't want to go back. Definitely, you lacking that man from his pride. You stopping him from being who you want to be, because every man depends on someone to survive. Even in the great United States, we all work for somebody company.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We're not working for government. We all working for private. It's not government that runs the whole United States businesses here. You go to Walmart, it's all private. I got Sam Club is private. I got Amazon is private. Dollar Tree is private. You know what I'm saying? So if you get a mindset of leaving all the responsibility on the government, the burden on the government ain't going to do nothing. And Africa, I bet in the next 100 years to come, it's just going to be like that how it is right now. Nothing going to change. The only thing going to change, maybe the children that was maybe 2 years old going to get 50 years old, or 75 years old in the next 100, but still the situation going to be the same.
Can you imagine a Dollar Tree in Africa?
As long as you get a mindset that if you come outside from Liberia, you don't want to go back, you definitely won't go back, and you definitely won't do nothing back. And you're gonna spend your whole life working from paycheck to paycheck, 9 to 5 every hour. But if you get the idea, the mindset, like, yo, I come in America to just work from the year to the year, get some amount of money and go back Africa, establish my own business. That's what I love Nigeria for. Nigeria wasn't really built by the country, by the government. Nigeria was built by the business owner in Nigeria. Those Nigerians that do their business, they build Nigeria. They build Lagos. They build Abuja. Not the government. And someone just take a project like his own project to pave the whole street of, or the whole zip code, like in 40218. That's his project. He just paved that whole zip code. The other man see him may take another zip code project. He paved it. That's how they've been doing it, little by little, little by little.
And then, I mean, that's how it's gonna have to be, because you can't depend on the government. So, you know, you cannot. So, you know, we the people have to build up Africa ourselves.
Exactly.
You know, to the point to how we want to live. You know, and not how they see us living.
Exactly.
So brother, I just appreciate you so much. This has really been a good interview. I feel like we need to have another one eventually so we can talk more in depth about things.
Sure, most definitely. I'm here whenever you're ready.
Okay, and make sure, go ahead and tell the platform about your YouTube channel also.
Like I said, yo, you can follow me on, you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube, King Dollar Sign, KING DOLLARSIGN. I do music, by the way. I do music. We're all pushing our dreams. You know what I'm saying? One day, I've been pushing my dreams since 2009. I don't give up. I'm still pushing. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
Winner never quit. Quitter never win. I still do what I gotta do. So you can go on YouTube and check for King Dollar Sign and listen to some of my music I get there, like coronavirus. I did some song for coronavirus, like coronavirus awareness. You can go and listen to it, you know what I'm saying? And just subscribe, like, and share. And thank you so much, Melody, for having me on the platform. Appreciate
No
it.
problem, brother. This is Africans Leaving America. We are signing off. You have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I do not even use the term African American. I use the term Africans because that's what we are. We are Africans in America. There's nothing American about us. Our history has only been a history of struggle in America. We are the only ethnic group in America who have to shed our blood to make reform. To get the vote, we must shed our blood. To get our children to school, we must shed our blood. To get on a bus and sit where we want, we must shed our blood. To even get in a filthy 5 and 10 cent store, we must shed our blood. So I don't see how we could be American. We're Africans in America struggling against American capitalism. And only until it's destroyed will we enjoy the rights that everyone else is speaking of. Human progress does not stand still. It moves. We came here as Africans. One of the first organizations we had fighting for us is known as the Free African Society. The very first independent organization we had in this country was the church. It was known as the African Methodist Episcopalian Church. So from Africans, our oppressor has changed us to colored, to Negro, to this, to that. We understand it's a step. Coming to black had a powerful point, because the point was that we were oppressed because of this color of our skin, and this was racism. But this fight is not just a fight over the color of the skin. A fight for power is a fight for land. When Mr. Llewellyn speaks about power, he's talking about land. Our land is Africa. America is not our land. It belongs to the American Indians, and we have a right to stand and take a moral struggle with them. The error of the thinking here is that most people think that Africans in America came here just like other immigrant groups did. All other immigrants came to America expecting a better way of life. We started in hell, which was a slave ship, and we're still in hell. This incorrect assumption makes it appear as if we've made a contribution with our culture. Our culture has been trampled upon, not the others. Any contribution we've made to America is the test of the strength of our culture in spite of this oppression. We are Africans, and that's exactly where we're going.
In your view, is that where you end it? Is that where it stops?
The content was African. The label has been changed to confuse us. If we came as Africans, how do we end up as Americans? How do we end up as...
I would beg to differ you that my ancestors came here in a slave boat. They didn't. They came from the island of Jamaica, and they came on their own because they thought it was a better place to be than Jamaica.
How did they get to Jamaica? They came as slaves to Jamaica. I was born in Trinidad. That's where the slave ship dropped them. We're all slaves. Right. We're all slaves.
We can't solve this one.
Jamaica. Who did you decide to drop in Jamaica? The white man dropped you in Jamaica and brought you to Mississippi. Right. So you don't define yourself by the enemy?
No, I define myself as the fighting places where I'm at. Where I used to be, or where I thought I was.
So if you were fighting on a slave ship, we fought on the slave ships. We fought on the slave ships. Did you call yourself a war?